Good morning. Welcome to the pre-meeting of the Newark Municipal Council on Wednesday, November 5th. Council President, council members, we have appointments starting on page 36. Item 8A is an appointment to the Newark Housing Authority Board. Mr. Latif, are you in the audience? Please step to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Latif.
Morning.
The mayor has requested your appointment to the Newark Housing Authority Board. Do you have any opening statements you'd like to make?
First of all, thank you very much. It's always an honor, and I'm more excited whenever I come to the to City Hall, especially in its chambers. After reviewing the ordinances in the Newark Housing Authority, I'm excited to work with the team to ensure every Newark family has access to safe, dignified, and affordable housing. And also will work with the team to help the families and to support pathways that will lead to stability, education, and economic mobility. I have a lot of experience in community work, in leadership, in regulation, and I'm excited to bring it to the Housing Authority and to work with them to achieve whatever goals the mayor and the council has.
Thank you. Councilman Gonzalez.
Yes, I have known
Your mic is off. Your mic is off.
probably like 20 years. So I will sponsor his nomination to the housing board. I believe that he is a great addition to the board, and I wish him luck in that endeavor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
Yes,
seconds
I
that.
just want to congratulate Ashraf. I've done work, we all have, and we're just excited. I know that you're going to have the city of Newark and the residents and the interests of where you're getting ready to serve is going to be at the top of the list of your service. So thank you, and once again, congratulations, and I will second that sponsorship.
Thank you. Anything else from the council?
Just want to see you down the street.
Oh,
Council.
Councilman Council.
No, I just, want to say, Mr. Latif, congratulations. And there's a lot of work to be done as we continue to try to get the Housing Authority back on solid ground. And so we look forward to serving with you down the street as we continue to do this work.
Thank you. Councilman Keller.
I just want to echo what Councilman Council said. There's a lot of work, and I just wanted to say congratulations. We need you.
And let me just add, and I say this sometimes, and I say it jokingly and seriously, congratulations and condolences, because there's going to be some work.
Oh, yeah.
All right. With that being said, congratulations. Tomorrow we vote on you, but it looks, we'll see you there.
Thank you very
Have
much.
a good evening.
Take
Good
care.
morning, actually.
8B is an appointment to the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. Is Dr. Lewis in the audience?
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Please approach the podium.
Good morning, Dr. Lewis.
Good morning.
Your name has been submitted for an appointment to the Alcohol Beverage Control Board by the mayor. Do you have an opening statement you'd like to make?
I do. First of all, I want to say good morning to the municipal council, everyone present. And I want to say thank you to the mayor for this amazing appointment, for the assignment of being engrafted into the committee for the Alcoholic Beverage Committee and Control. Yes.
Thank you, Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
I just want to sponsor Reverend Dr.
Second.
Andrea Lynn Lewis to ABC. Congratulations. And I know you're going to serve in excellence. God bless you on this new journey that you're embarking upon.
Thank you so much.
And I know there was a second by Councilman Kelly. Any other council members?
Congratulations, Doc.
Thank you for serving. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Councilman.
same thing.
Yep. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
You too.
8C is an appointment to the Newark Public Library Board as a trustee. Is Ms. Clark in the audience?
Kimberly Clark? Ms. Clark is not present. If she comes in, we'll come back to her.
Certainly. We are on page 3 of the regular agenda. Item 5, reports and recommendations of city officers, boards, and commissions.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none, next item.
Ordinances, public hearing, second reading, and final passage. 6P SFA is an ordinance granting a 30-year tax abatement to New Community Homes Development LP for a project to construct a new 4-story building comprising of 120 affordable units, of which 60 affordable housing rental units shall be rented to tenants at 60% of area median income, AMI, or less, 44 affordable housing rental units to be rented to tenants at 60% AMI or less, and 16 affordable housing rental units to be rented to tenants at 30% AMI or less in the Central Ward.
Any questions, concerns from the council?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Councilman, council.
One, has the CBA been worked out, and has there been community meetings yet around the CBA? I know that they're looking to receive an Aspire grant.
Yeah, so, all right. The deputy mayor is behind you. Yeah, back up.
Good morning, Brandy Daniel, Legislative Coordinator for Economic and Housing Development.
Morning.
Council President, to Council's question, I will get that answer for you by the end of business day.
Appreciate it.
No
All right.
problem.
Thank you, Ms. Daniel. Anything else from the council?
Yeah,
Councilman Gonzalez.
this project has been going around for some time, and the more that we delay the approval of this process, the least opportunities they have, or the lower the opportunities they have to finance the project. I believe it's imperative that we move on this as quickly as we can, so that our people in the Central Ward and throughout the city of Newark have affordable housing of good quality.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Council.
Mr. Chair, I'll sponsor it.
Council. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman, you said sponsor?
Yes.
Sponsored by Councilman Council, second by Councilwoman Scott Roundtree. Anything else from the council? All right, next item.
B is an ordinance granting a 22-year tax abatement to Gomes Generation Urban Renewal LLC for a project located in the Central Ward to construct a new 5-story building with 55 residential rental units consisting of 44 market rate residential rental units, 11 affordable housing rental units, of which 2 one-bedroom units and 1 2-bedroom units shall be restricted to tenants at 40% of AMI, 2 one-bedroom units and 1 2-bedroom units shall be restricted to tenants at 60% AMI, and 5 one-bedroom units shall be restricted to tenants at 80% AMI.
Any questions, concerns from the council? I know we went over this last meeting. All right, seeing none, next item.
C is an ordinance amending and supplementing vendor license for the sale of food and merchandise at public festivals to establish a seasonal festival endorsement for mobile vendors.
Questions, concerns from the council? Hearing none, next item.
D is an ordinance to extinguish the right of reverter and authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement between the city and 613 South 18 LLC, sponsored by Councilman Council, second by Councilman Kelly.
Any questions from the council? So let's just do this because let's have the deputy mayor just come up and give a brief explanation on this matter again.
Good morning, Council President, council members.
Morning.
Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. The item before you is solving a problem because we had a bad actor. So there was a person that purchased the property as an adjacent property sale, and then they subsequently sold it, and then that party subsequently sold it again. And now the party is trying to sell it to a homeowner. Well, in our compliance process, we now require a certificate of completion. A certificate of completion can only be provided if the original buyer followed all the rules. So unfortunately, in this sense, the original buyer did not. Therefore, we worked on this settlement agreement that we're asking for you to approve so that we do not delay the homeowner being able to purchase a house. And what we are asking is that the new purchaser place $6,000, which was the price of the original side lot sale, available back to the city. And then finally, the city is legally going after the original buyer for the balance of the funds.
Good. That's good. Thank you. Any questions, concerns? Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Council President.
All right, next item.
Resolutions. 7R1A is, my apologies. 7R1A is a community development block grant appropriation for sub-grantees.
Questions from the council? Next item.
B through M are all purchasing contracts. B is professional service contract, First Amendment for professional services for psychological examinations for fitness of duty exams.
Do we have anybody, any questions from the council? Next item.
C and D are both state contracts for traffic and signals.
Questions from the council? Next item.
I do have,
I'm sorry, Councilman Gonzalez.
yes, is the director here, the director of engineering? Because I want to know where we are with the noise emitting devices that we are supposed to install in the lights in the city, so that the vision impaired individuals can cross the street safely. And we have been doing this for probably the last 4 or 5 years, and I don't see any progress.
I do not see the Director of Engineering, but Mr. Waldrop, is there something that you maybe add? Or at least maybe get back to us?
Yes, Melvin Waldrop, Chief of Staff, Office of Business Administrator. I will ensure that you get that information later today.
Thank you, Mr. Waldrop.
Thank you. Anything else from the council? Next item.
E is for reconstruction of the bay floor engine 5.
Questions from the council?
I want to be known as a sponsor for that.
Sponsored by Councilman
I'll second it.
Silva, second by Councilman Gonzalez.
Duly
I
noted.
do have a question, but again, I don't, the engineering department is not here. It's just, the question is on this one, and I think there's another one where it just seems like we keep continuing doing either amendments or an extension to an emergency contract. Is what is the delay, or what continues to be the delay that we keep having? So although they're not here, oh, is she here? I can't see her back there. Oh, I'm sorry, yo. Did I not see her? I'm sorry. Director, I'm sorry, I did not see you back there.
Good morning, Council President, Council members. I'm wearing a skirt today, and it's not usual, so I look different today. Thank you so much. The contracts that we're putting ahead is just to establish a line of resources with state contractors that are already approved by the state, so it facilitates our ability to get traffic and signal equipment through the state, to the state vendors, to the state approved vendors.
So are you answering 7R1D, which was Councilman, or not D?
Okay. This is for power concrete.
Which one are you, which one? Because,
7R1E.
Okay, so so what you're saying is the delay is because of what again now? So I just
Okay,
clarify,
all right. So,
understand.
so with 71RE, we're extending the contract with Power Concrete, who is doing work on Engine 5 in 65 Congress. We have encountered some unforeseen conditions. Some of the footing work that we were doing came in conflict with some of the existing utility work.
Okay.
So there was some technical delays that we had to work out. In light of those delays, we need to extend the contract to time only.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Now, since you're up there, Councilman Gonzalez, you want to
Yes,
ask a question?
Director,
Yes, sir.
we have been through this before. Where are we with the noise emitting devices for for the lights so that the vision impaired individuals can cross safely?
Okay. So this is one of the reasons, Councilman Gonzalez, that we wanted to establish this contract. So it's a little more easy to procure these kind of equipment for the city. We are still working on a plan for the rest of the city besides the locations that we already provided. Or we could ask if there's any other locations that may be pertinent to evaluate. Please let us know. As soon as we can secure this contract, we can start processing orders for these.
Well, I believe there's across the street from the University Hospital in that area there. I believe one is needed because that's a very dangerous crossing. And wherever we have schools and universities, we should have those equipments there because otherwise uh, we may have, as I mentioned, vision impaired individuals that may be hit by cars, and we have a lot of hit and runs in the city of Newark, and people being hurt by crossing the street. So I believe that it's imperative that we do that as quickly as we can.
Yes. What I can share with you, Councilman Gonzalez, is that we're working when we pursue grants and are having leftover funds in our operating budget. We are looking to small implementation projects like that, like rumble streets and everything. If we have funding, like for example, in our striping contract, we do use those funds for that kind of location. So I'll take that location, especially from University Hospital.
You're telling me that there's not one line item that whatever, let's say, excess funds from whatever, is that what you're using? So I believe that we have to prioritize that instead of waiting for uh, extra funds to be let's say found because in the meantime people might be hurt.
That's right.
And
Thank you
can I
so
add
much.
this real quick? I do believe, Councilman Gonzalez, at one point, we voted on
Yes.
equipment to do just that. So the question is, what's the timetable of putting it all together and putting those out? Well, I guess the question is the timetable, because we voted on that.
Well, and the question, Mr. President, is whether we purchase all the equipment that was approved.
Yes.
Okay, so is this the equipment that we got for speeding? The
No.
council?
This is specifically for what the Councilman Gonzalez is referring to, because I believe in that meeting, he did ask a question specifically regarding.
Okay, all
and
right,
that-
so
and the
I'll
answer
take
was
it back.
affirmative.
I'll take it back, Council President and Councilmember Gonzalez, and I'll check with my team. I'll have a response to you by tomorrow's meeting to see where the planning and funding and everything is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
I just have a question.
Councilman
Yeah,
Silva.
Director, just a question. So the work on Engine 5 will begin.
The work in Engine 5 has begun. It had to halt because we had to work out the unforeseen condition in the field. I do have a report for a motion that you entered, Councilman Silva, that will be sent to you today by the end of the day with the update of where the project is and inclusive of this extension and where those fit in the project progress.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from the council? Thank you, Director. Next item.
F is an extension of an emergency contract to remove used tires.
Questions? Next item.
G is a cooperative purchasing agreement to purchase a police drone van.
Questions from the council? Next item.
H is to provide computer equipment.
Any questions from the council? Next item.
I is donation of a public works equipment not needed for public use to our sister city in Jamaica, sponsored by Councilman Quintana.
It, it, is there a second for this?
Second.
Second by Councilman Silva. I will follow up to make sure the councilman is here tomorrow, or if he's going to be. Next item.
J is a bid contract for armed security guards.
Questions from the council?
Is this a renewal or is this a new contract?
I believe it's a new contract. Mr. Waldrop, I don't see anybody from public safety. Is that something that you can address, or someone from the administration
This
here can
adminis-
address? 7R1J, the armed security guard contract.
New.
Nobody's. You wouldn't know that.
Yeah. It's administration.
Melvin Waldrop, Chief of Staff, Office of Business Administrator. This is a new contract, Mr. President.
Is this a new company or is this a renewal of the?
New.
It's a new one.
It's new.
It is a new company.
They're
Thank you.
replacing it. Okay.
I believe the old one was Pro Cops, right? Any other questions from the council? Next item.
K is a bid contract to provide pest control and exterminating services.
Questions from the council? Next item.
L is a bid contract to provide flashlights and batteries.
Questions? Next item.
M is a bid contract to provide pharmaceutical supplies.
Questions from the council? Next item.
N is application agreement with HUD for a one-year action plan.
Any questions from the council? Next item.
O is a collective bargaining agreement for the Fraternal Order of Police.
I'd like to sponsor that.
Sponsored by Councilman
Second.
Silva. I'll second this one.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I jumped in. Next item.
7R2A through G are private sales and redevelopment agreements. A is a new construction of mixed-use building with a grocery store in the West Ward.
Councilman Kelly.
I'll ask this be returned to administration, please.
As a whole, or can we do it as a whole? Is that okay? Or you want
As a whole.
We can do it as a whole. Is that-
Yes, please, as a whole.
As a whole.
B is new construction of a three-family home to sell at market rate in the South Ward and West Ward.
Any concerns? Good?
Yeah.
All right, next item.
C is new construction of a two-family home to sell at market rate in the South Ward.
Ask for that item to be deferred.
All right.
Mr. President, can I go back to B?
All right, just finish this. As deferment, so there's a motion for the councilman to defer. Is there a second with that?
Second.
Second by Councilman Kelly. All right, now let's go back to B.
Yes, I don't know, but this property is assessed, the assessed value is $451,800, and we're selling it for $169,998. I would love to hear why.
Deputy Mayor
Deputy Mayor.
or Ms. Daniel, Deputy Mayor, Ms. Daniel.
And normally the assessed value is a fraction of the selling price. So the selling price, assuming that the property is in good condition, would be much higher than that.
Good morning, Council President, council members. Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. I will work to refresh my memory on this one. I do know all of the paperwork is submitted through Legistar, as well as we sent supplemental information this morning. But I will review it and be sure to answer your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're on to D now.
D is new construction of a two-family home to sell at market rate in the Central Ward.
Questions from the council? Next item.
E is new construction of a six-story building which will be 100% affordable in the Central Ward.
Mr. President.
Councilman Gonzalez.
I would love to hear what is the intended purpose of this, what are the clients of Covenant House that are going to occupy that building? And because I don't think that that's the best use for that piece of land, being that that piece of land is in the middle of all the development that is happening in the central world of the city of Newark, with Teacher Village, with the Halo building, with the intended building across the street from where the soul food restaurant Jay's was. So I don't think that this parcel is that we're using it for the best use that can be produced for that piece of land. I believe that, if it is assessed for 1.288 million dollars, why are we selling it for $500,000? The city, I believe, is in dire need of money, and we are giving this away.
Deputy Mayor. And this is next to the property they already have, right? Okay.
Yes, good morning, Council President. Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. For this project in particular, in this sale, this is the first nonprofit that has gone through the successful process to be in line first for our sales. So as you probably remember, a couple of years ago, the mayor asked the council to consider legislation that would give nonprofit and community-based organizations first opportunity to purchase properties, because we really were looking to enhance community development. And we know nonprofits within the neighborhood are also very focused on that. So when we released the list of properties, Covenant House was, again, the nonprofit that requested this property, and they were first in. So that is why we started the discussion with them. Second, the purpose that Covenant House has is not only, to Council President's point, the property is adjacent to their current operations. They are also looking to provide affordable housing and housing for our residents without addresses. We know that in our city, we are in need of all kinds of housing. As even mentioned by Councilmember Gonzalez, each of those types of housing are actually all different. Some are high rises, some are mid rises, some are 100% affordable, others are 80-20. And we need that. We need housing for everyone in our city. And we believe that Covenant House is going to be able to deliver that to our city using this land. The last piece is why is the price $500,000? The reason for that is that it is not unusual. When we sell property for affordable housing purposes, oftentimes the land subsidy is what is used to help make things affordable. And in this case, that is what we've done, is we have reduced the acquisition price so that this can be affordable, not only to 60%, 80% of AMI residents, but also to residents without addresses who may not have an income. And that is where we need to be more cognizant of prices that when we sell land.
It's, Mr. President, if I may, that reminds me of another lot that we sold on Halsey Street, in the corner of Halsey Street and Central Avenue. Again, valued at over $1 million, sold for $100,000. So I believe that land is something that we can sell only once, unless the buyer defaults on on taxes and we get the land again. So I believe that in this, being in the position that the city is economically, I believe that the city should get as much money for the land as they can. The other point that I have is if I live on the Halo building and I am paying $4,000 rent, I don't want, let's say, to go through in the neighborhood with, let's say, with homelessness is, let's say, and I understand that we should have residence for everyone, but I don't think that the location of that residence is the appropriate one.
Well,
Can I-
Council, I'm sorry.
Let me just
Councilman.
add, or say, Covenant House already has services right next door and will continue to have services right next door. My opinion is that this is something that's important for those who are in need. We have to be cognizant of how we help and support those for affordable housing and those who are without housing. And if this is an opportunity where we could do both in an area that already has that population anyway, I don't see an issue with it, and that's just my opinion.
Thanks. Council President, if I could, just to comment on two things. I mean, the first is the site at Halsey and Central is still in the city's ownership because unfortunately the developer that we chose walked away. And so we actually terminated that agreement. And I believe that was already shared, but I will say that was terminated some time ago. So what we are doing and what the council has considered over the last year are actions for the city to hire an architect, albeit it was not approved by this council, but we did have an architect that we are working to have the building designed. And as of yesterday, there is a solicitation on the street looking for a new development partner. So I understand the point, although I would say that it's a different scenario today than it was then. As with time, markets change, and we are looking to have a better transaction for that project, albeit it'll still be 100% affordable. Second, I've been doing affordable housing my whole career. And I think part of our job as affordable housing developers, real estate developers, and even policy people is to make housing nondescript. And so it should be universal to everybody. You shouldn't know who lives in one building or another, or one site or another, or one unit or the other. It's actually discriminatory. And I know that Mayor Baraka is not a policy of his. So for us, what we would say is that housing types are needed across every community. And we would look to make sure that the housing design does not show any differences between affordable housing for people without addresses or market rate. I think that's our goal as a community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from the council? Councilman Council.
Mr. Chair, I think it was some good discussion that was had here, which is important. And in light of what, Councilman Gonzalez says, who made some absolutely good points, but then also to take in consideration of the Covenant House, their relationship, how they have been good neighbors, the opportunity that the administration has provided in terms of wanting to expand resources and opportunities to nonprofit, and the importance of expanding the threshold for the services that the Covenant House has. I think this is a vibrant and important project. But we do need to begin to look at all of those things and make sure that we are prudent, moving forward down the line. But I just believe that this is a good project for the Covenant House, and it's something that needs to happen in terms of expansion and the services that we provide, especially with youth and young adults, which they service, and making sure that we build that capacity, and the fact that they are good relational partners. So.
Councilman Council.
I'm sorry, just
President, I
Council
just-
President, just for your awareness, they're also present in chambers, so I just wanted you to
Mr.
know, and if there were
Mr. President,
specific
I just want
questions
to
to
make
them.
sure that, let's say, my objection is not to the Covenant House. My objection is to, let's say, the selling of the property for that price, and perhaps the use of the property, but it's not directed as Covenant House, because I know the services that they provide in the community. It's not, let's say, it shouldn't be construed as being opposed to Covenant House having a place to serve the residents of the city.
Councilwoman Scott Round.
No, to thank you, Council President, to Councilman Council's point and your point, and to Councilman Gonzalez's concerns. When individuals have a reputation of the work that they're doing already in the community, I think we're here to assist them to the best of our ability to extend those services if they have a running track record. Our youth are one of the populations, as Councilman Council stated, that have issues as well. And so we are very aware. I know when Councilwoman LaMonica McIver was here, we supported all of the programming because we wanted to see the programs that are assisting our youth that have issues and that are residents without addresses, be along with all of the other things that they do. So whatever Covenant House is doing, and we can assist them legally and ethically to get it done, I am truly thankful that they continue to stay in Newark and do the work. Thank you, Council President.
So, President, let me ask a last question before we move on. In terms of when is the project going to be started? Let's say, when is construction going to be started? Is financing available?
We're having a representative from Covenant House join me at the podium. His name is Antonio Valla, and I know he'll be able to introduce himself and explain.
Hi, Antonio Valla, Newark resident and also owner's rep on the project. We're exploring a range of public and private dollars that would be needed for a project of this scale. You know, as is typical of projects that have affordable housing and temporary and transitional beds, it will need a complicated capital stack. So we're hoping to be overlapping the financing strategy with the entitlement and design strategies. We're hoping to be about a year away from that, and then a 2-year construction period. That's our ideal timeline. But as you know, often with applications and public investments that can move around, but that's our goal.
So you think that within 3 years it would be
Yes,
complete?
that's certainly the timeline we're solving around, but there's certainly variables out of our control, but that's as
Okay.
fast as we can.
Okay, so you haven't started the process of getting financing for the project?
We've already started socializing it with key state partners we think we'll need, but we haven't started those applications yet until we have the site control.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item.
F is new construction of a two-family home to sell at market rate in the South Ward.
I'm asking for the item be deferred.
Motion to defer by Councilman Council. Is there a
Second.
Council Scott Roundtree. Next item.
G is to rehabilitate property and sell to an owner-occupant homeowner at 80% area medium income or less in the Central Ward.
Any questions, concerns from the
Yeah, Mr. Chair,
Councilman?
I know, you know, in light of some of the things that's happening, some of the Central Ward projects that were coming up, if there was stuff that was immediate, like in the hopper that we had, but any new items I think should be left for that person that is going to be joining the council so that they can have opportunity to counsel and discuss with prospective individuals as it relates to the movement of their ward. That's just my 1 cent.
Deputy Mayor? Is there a concern if we deferred this?
No, Council President. Sorry, Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. The administration would be happy to support that deferral.
All right. So let's do a motion as a whole to defer. Is there anyone from CAPC here? No, I don't see. All right, thank you. All right. Next item.
H is a professional service contract, the First Amendment to the Professional Service Agreement to provide services as planning consultants.
Questions from the council?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Is it possible we can get an update on how much work that they have done so far? I know that there's been some meetings and some things that have been happening, but how far along are they for us to look to advance this contract?
And I think a lot of the monies that they're paid comes from you can help me out because I'm drawing a blank on what it's called.
No problem, Council President. Council President, Council members, Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. This contractor is one of several that helps our Planning and Zoning Office. They service predominantly the boards, Zoning Board or Central Planning Board. And when the payments for this are needed, they're actually paid through escrow agreement by the redevelopers. And so it is a limited expense to the city. Because I would say there are times in which the city asks for other services by the same contractor, but the overwhelming use is being paid for by the redeveloper's escrow.
Thank you. And if you could just follow up with Councilman Council's request in writing, that would be.
Yes, no problem. We'd be happy to explain the number of meetings and projects in which they've been assisting with since the contract began. Thank you.
Thank you. Was that good, Councilman Council?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next item.
I is a redevelopment agreement to authorize the execution of an agreement for the redevelopment of land between the City of Newark and Thomas Carter Village Urban Renewal LLC.
So Deputy Mayor, can you come up and explain this, and then we'll discuss what we're going to do. I know it's a switch from a community center to something.
Thank you, Council President, Council members, Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. This item has to do with like the sites and site control for one project. And there was some land that was actually associated with the State Department of DOT. And so we needed to work with them to allow us to continue to do this development. The agreement has been approved by the state and also by the redeveloper. And I know their counsel is in chambers, but that is the reason for it, is that there was a, what do you call it? I'm sorry, my mind went blank. Site consolidation that needed to happen. And so that's why we are asking for this approval. It's also affordable housing project.
Councilman Council or any other council members?
And Council President, I'm happy to send a short summary of it to be more clear. I know that I gave you a high level one, but I'm happy to send you a short summary as well.
That would be appreciated.
No problem.
Thank you. Anything else from the council? All right, next item.
7R3A through C are all amending resolutions for an extension of time for the municipal aid program for street resurfacing in various streets.
Anything from the council? I'm sure.
Council
Yeah,
President.
I'd like to be a sponsor of that,
A sponsor?
Second.
but I'd also like to get a list of the streets, the 20 streets that are
Yes.
supposedly
So
and get
let me
paid
ask
by
you-
October 21st, 2025, which was a
Understood.
couple weeks ago.
Councilman.
Yeah, I had to chuckle for Councilman Silva because we still haven't had any street paving.
That's right.
Well, we've been approving a lot of paving, and every time we approve something, it says it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and nothing has happened. We've asked for streets, we got information, and we just have no paving, and we're in November, and we were promised that. And the people, the problem behind that is that people expect us to vote, and they want to make sure that our votes are in alignment, and we don't get no services. That's critical.
Thank you, Councilman. And while the director comes, or I'm sorry, Councilwoman Scott
Yes,
Brown.
and to Councilman Silva's point and to Councilman Council's point, for the past 6 months, at least or more, we've asked for not just the work to be done, but an update and a timeline for it to be done. And what happens is constituents call us because they watch these meetings. And when they see that we are voting on things and services that are going to be provided by engineering or any other department, and then it's not, and then we vote on something else, and then they call us back and say, but you didn't take care of what you said you was going to take care of in a timely fashion, or dated times that, and even if it's not going to be done, the least we can get is an update of why, because we were given a timeline, we were giving information as pertains to the street paving. We've gotten everything that we could possibly get from you regarding the work, but the work is not done. And as Councilman Council has stated, what's going to happen is we're going to go into winter months where we're going to pray that the weather does not create more issues for individuals with their cars and other issues that might attribute to those streets not being paved. So we cannot any longer just have presentations and requests and no service, no action, or the timeline given to us, not even giving us an update to let us be covered to respond intelligently to the people when they call us about the
And
process that was not kept.
thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank
And
you,
to add,
Councilman.
just to add on to that, and I just lost my train of thought. But with regards to the streets, I see that it's Bergen Street, Ironbound, Roundabout, Delancey Street, Broad Street, and Ferry Street are the streets that are supposed to be it's some kind of pavement or some kind of infrastructure work is supposed to be done on. The question or concern I have is the extension, and we keep coming into the situation where it's not just something that the council is concerned about, which we are, but it's our residents. It's those that are, the other day I almost stepped in a pothole and almost broke my ankle at a street dedication. It's the car that gets hit with a pothole and the tires are flattened or the car is damaged. It's more than just fixing the infrastructure. It's become a safety issue. And I think we need to really address it because we keep approving extensions, and nothing, I don't say nothing, but a majority of what we are expecting that we vote on doesn't get done. And I think what would help for us is a regular update on what is being done, when the timeline, and some constant communication, because as Councilman Council said, we're pretty much almost in that season where there's not gonna be any paving. It's gonna be too cold to pave, if not already. So now we're gonna wait till the springtime, and it's just
It's worse.
seems like it's delay on top of delay. And once another winter comes and the snow thaws, the roads are gonna be even worse. So I think it's a major concern on the council, as well as the community. And so I hope there's a way that we could get some things done, more completed, and a more an update on a consistent basis of what is going on.
Thank you, Council President and council members. I do hear your comments. I did want to touch upon some of the things, some of your concerns. So the extensions that you see in front of you, especially the first two items, is a requirement from the DOT. If the project remains active, whether it's in design or implementation phase, every 6 months, they require for us to be able to certify to them that the project is active, that the contract is valid and extended. Hence why you see the first one bringing it current to October and the second one extending us to April. The challenge that we face with our projects is when we put together a list of locations, when we do the pre-design investigation. Some of the streets are older than others. Some of the streets have not been treated at all. So some of the work that we have to perform in some of the projects will take longer than the typical project. In this case, we've encountered a lot of infrastructure coordination challenges, and that brings about delays in design, because we have to work around what's going on the subsurface of the streets. Um, as you can see, I mean, we're already on MA 23. We're actually started MA 23 already, and those are 33 locations, weather permitting. We continue paving, obviously. We are continuing. A couple of things that I want to mention. To date this year, we paved a little bit over 10.8 miles across the city. The one thing that I want to know for all those listening is that a lot of our areas that we pave, we have to update the pedestrian section first, which is mostly important. What that means is accessibility, doing the concrete work, the curves that make it accessible for wheelchairs and other devices to be able to go from one street to another. A lot of our areas in the city do not have that, so we are faced with doing the concrete work first, and that takes a little bit longer, and it pushes the surfacing of the actual street, and the curves being what retains the pavement itself. So a lot of the delays that you may see are just challenges of the coordination and the order of operations that we need to do. Every time we touch a street, regardless of the condition of the sidewalks, we have to bring them to code. So that also brings about a little bit more time that we require in certain areas. And as you all know, it's very weather depending. So if, doing the work on the sidewalks takes a little longer, that pushes the actual paving part, but it does set it up for the beginning of the next season to be a priority because it's already set up for the paving. I do hear you, Council President, with the regular updates. We do a 2-week look ahead internally, but I think that it will be beneficial to share that with everybody in Council. And what we do is we'll coordinate with our sister agency in the Water Department, PSCNG, and any other utility company doing work in the city of Newark. Um, you know, we're trying to do as much as possible, weather depending at this point. But again, the challenges are the age infrastructure, what we have to work around, and also the DOT requirements to remain to keep and maintain the project as active as we progress in the projects.
Thank you. Councilman Gonzalez.
Regarding coordination, in the North Ward, PSCNG apparently is doing all the gas lines, and they have broken into all the streets in the North Ward, and those streets, some of them were recently paved. So it, you mentioned that there is a lot of coordination with PSCNG and others. However, every time that a street is paved, month later, either there's a water project, or there's PSCNG, or there's the telephone company, or whatever. The streets are broken, and and they need to be repaved. So who pays for the repaving? In this case, would be PSCNG, I suppose.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
they are committed to doing that for every street that they break.
Yes. So when it comes to a project like the PSEG gas line replacement, which is happening citywide, yes, they are responsible for the restoration of the street. We saw that on Elizabeth Avenue, for example. They came and resurfaced, and they also striped. Again, their process is a little more lengthy because it's a little more area to cover when they do these type of projects. So there's a little lag between the paving and the striping part, but they are responsible to resurfacing. I just want to bring something up, and we'll talk about it later, most likely. There is, because I know that the council and everybody in the city has that issue that they leave our streets open like that. We have introduced legislation in this agenda today to help bring them accountable. We can talk when, when we get to that item. But streets and moratorium, if it's a emergency, PSCNG is allowed to break them in. We try to keep them away from streets that we have already paved. This project came about after some of the streets were paved, but is a requirement to have, well, it is a safety replacement that they're doing for gas
Well,
to make sure, yes.
What we should do, Director, is the streets that need repavement, have them do it. Have them do the construction in those streets, and they will be responsible for the paving, and we don't have to spend our money paving it. So let's say you have a street that has a lot of holes. Allow PSCNG to go there first and do let's say the line replacement or whatever they have to do, and then they have to pave it.
I take that point. Thank you, Councilman Gonzalez.
Yeah, Council President, I'm just thankful that, the director did inform us that there was no paving done. I appreciate that. Hopefully, in 2026, we can get some paving done around the city. I just don't, speak for myself in the South Ward, but also hopefully some of our other, ward council colleagues can be able to look towards 2026 as we leave out the ending of this year to hopefully get some paving done around the city in 2026 for the services that our residents pay.
Thank you, Councilman.
Council President, one last thing, if the list is not included in the Legistar backup, or even if it is, I'm gonna send you the list of these locations for these projects. Typically, we'll put them in Legistar, but I'll make sure that they are in there.
Thank you. All right, next, anything else on this one? Next item.
D is designating a bus stop along West Market Street, Central Avenue, and Littleton Avenue.
Any questions from the council? Next item.
E is a bid contract to provide improvements to the Harriet Tubman Square Park.
Mr. Chair, I would sponsor that.
Second.
Sponsored by Councilman Council, second by Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
Do we know the improvements that are going to be made?
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Do
Council.
we know the improvements that are going to be made?
Yeah, so we're looking at the landscaping and some of the site amenities on the park to be spruced up, if you want to call it. So, there's several stakeholders, obviously the city of Newark being the number one, but it's something that, it's long awaited. I believe some of the things are the walking path, reconfiguration of the walking paths, some play structures and restrooms in the actual park.
Thank you.
And in addition to that, Melvin Waldrop, Chief of Staff, Office of Business Administrator. In addition to that, there will be playground equipment provided, for the kids who come to the park, as well as, benches.
And Walter, if this is total cost, or do we have partners that are going to contribute some money to the improvements?
No, there are partners who are contributing money to the improvements.
So it's much more than what we are approving here.
No, it should be inclusive of.
Oh, this
of
here is
that.
inclusive of the
Yes,
contributions?
Yes, of the total budget for the project.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions? Any other questions, concerns? Thank you. Next item.
704A is preliminary official statement and disclosure agreement for the issuance of notes.
Director Guzman, you're up.
Good morning, Council President, Council members. Benjamin Guzman, Acting Finance Director.
Good morning.
This resolution, again, as it stated, is to approve the preliminary official statement and all disclosure documents related to the sale of bond anticipation notes. And these are in relations to the recently approved capital ordinance that was previously adopted by this council.
Thank you. Councilman Gonzalez.
Ben, is it possible that we get a copy of the POS?
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as it's finalized and approved, prior to printing, I can make sure that a
Big-
copy of that is sent over to.
And
to the rest of the council members.
the official statement is the offering statement is there is a lot of information that goes into those statements and about the city of Newark and the projections of what is going to happen in the future in the city of Newark. And sometimes we are not knowledgeable enough about those things that are planned and divulge in those statements. I believe it's imperative that we get those since we are approving them.
Absolutely. I'll make sure a copy of that's provided to you.
Thank you. Anything else from the council? All right, thank you, Director. Next item.
B is application to the Department of Community Affairs for funding for the shuttle bus service project.
Questions from the council? No questions? Next item.
7R 6A and B are for discussion in executive session. 7R 8A is a ceremonial street designation for Miss Little, sponsored by Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
I second that.
Second by Councilman Kelly.
B is recognizing and commending resolutions, and C is expressing profound sorrow and regret.
Mr. Chair, can we add to the expression of profound sorrow and regret to the Jessamy family for the untimely loss of Letitia Jessamy, who was a prudent worker, not just in the city of Newark, but in the water department. And so this entire city and this council grieves the loss of Letitia Jessamy. And I know the South Ward does as well, because she was a South Ward resident. So we want to pray for the family and the children in our entire water department and our director for losing a very important piece and cog in this organization. So.
All right, thank you, Councilman. We'll add.
7R 9A is application acceptance of grant funds to provide funds to assist in hiring 15 police officers.
You can sponsor that, please.
I'll second.
Councilman Silva, second by Councilman Council.
I'm sorry, who's second?
Council.
Thank you, duly noted. B is disposition of a fire truck not needed for public use, sponsored by Councilman Quintana.
I'll second.
Second, who?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Council.
Thank you.
We probably need a lot of other stuff now.
Yeah.
7R 10A, acceptance of a donation for Clean Communities Slam Dunk event.
Questions? Next item.
7R 11A is a memorandum of understanding with the Bloomfield Avenue Lower Broadway Alliance for the revitalization, improvement, and maintenance of Salvador Bontempo Park, sponsored by Councilman Ramos, second by Councilman Gonzalez.
Mr. Chair.
Councilman.
Just a question. The ordinance speaks of a MOU as it relates to the maintenance of Salvatore Bontempo Park. Can we get an understanding of that? Because I know the Recreation Department does not control maintenance of that. So who is actually going to be doing the maintenance? Is it under DPW? Is it under public buildings?
Director.
Good morning, Council President, Councilman, council members. Kareem Adeem, Director, Interim Director, DPW, Director, Department of Water and Sewer. Salvo Temple Park, the DPW, and along with the Water Department normally, because we have the Bloomfield Water Tower there. We normally combine and do maintenance there. At the conclusion of this reconstruction of the park, the Lower Broadway organization is going to further do the maintenance and upkeep at the park.
So in the document, it's going to specifically say that the Department of Public Works, as well as the Water Department, will help to maintain around that area, snow removal, landscaping, because of the water tower that's in there, which is a historic water tower. But the maintenance and upkeep of that area will be done through our DPW and our Water Department?
No, it'll be done by the Bloomfield,
Yeah,
Bloomfield, what's the name of it?
improvement district.
Improvement.
bid.
Currently,
Lower
it's done
Broadway.
by us.
Right.
But we're gonna transfer that over to the lower Bloomfield improvement organization.
Bloomfield Avenue, Lower Broadway.
Right. I
Bloomfield
just,
Broadway, right?
absolutely. I just wanted to make sure that we put that on record so that we know that it is not the Department of Recreation and Cultural Affairs that's going to be providing maintenance and landscaping, but the Bloomfield lower bid will be doing that.
Yes.
Bloomfield Avenue Improvement District. Gotcha.
Mr. President, now that the director is here, I sent you the two pictures the other day of pieces of my recycling bin.
Yes, we're addressing that.
Please, because mine is that one was destroyed, and that one was a culmination of the destruction of the bin. But I believe that residents are complaining that all the receptacles are thrown and broken, and people are tired of that.
Yes, thank you, Council President, council members, Councilman Gonzalez. Yes, we're addressing that, not just on your can, but cans all over the city, and how our workforce, is a culture trains to how they treat the garbage cans.
Thank you.
Right.
One last thing while you're there. The lawn signs for the Clean Community Funds to go on the islands with a QR code that would be able to list the days of garbage pickup, recycling, and for the lawn signs to say no dumping on the islands. I know we discussed that and talked about it. I don't know how far along we are in the process, but if you give me an update later, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, thank you. But we're working with traffic and safety. We're probably 80% there, but right now we're putting up the signs around the illegal dumping. Then we'll get to the hours.
Thank you,
President.
Councilman Kelly.
Council President. Oh,
I'm sorry, then I'll get you.
How you doing, Director? I know we did a clean and lean on that property on 18th Avenue, the old. It's already starting to build back up, and my office is getting more calls. So I know engineering is here too. But once we do a clean and lean, and we cleaned it up, DPW did an amazing job. You brought out the big vehicles. It's already starting to get like, how do we stop this guy from, are we fining the owner? Are we stopping him from building? Like, it's just going back to the way that it was.
Council President, council members, Councilman Kelly, I had to defer that to engineering.
Thank you.
Good morning, Councilman Kelly, Council President, Dolores Martinez Wooden, Department of Engineering. The moment we put a clean and lean, they go automatically to court. So we follow up in the court system as well. What I can do is figure out what that case is that you're bringing up, sir, and checking what the status is in court.
Can we, until they clean the property or keep the property clean, can we stop them from building? Can we stop them from working on the property? I've been sent pictures yesterday and this morning about the property starting to get back to the way it was. We already put a clean and lean on it, like I said, and DPW did an amazing job, but now it's starting to it's probably be another week before it's out to the curb again, and then push our students and our seniors to walk in the street, which is unsafe.
Okay. If you can repeat for me, 18th Avenue, what location, 18th
Yes,
Avenue,
at the
Councilman?
corner of 18th Avenue and Stuyvesant. It's what's the exact address? The White House on the corner of 18th Avenue. It's on 18th Avenue, maybe 2 doors in from Stuyvesant.
Okay, I'll check in with Chief
I
Code
can send you the
Enforcement.
pictures
and-
after this as well.
I'm sorry?
I can send you the pictures.
Okay,
after
that'd be
this as well.
perfect. But we'll follow up because, if that location is egregious, I'm sure it's in court already, or maybe they already had the court proceedings. I can give you the information.
Thank you.
Council President, council members, Kareem and Deem, Interim Director, DPW. We'll also forward this over to our illegal dumping task force, because it may not be the owner. It may be people coming by, just dumping on the property. So we'll make sure we tag this and give it to the MPD and the illegal dumping task force so they can monitor the area.
That's a great call, Director, but you can see this stuff is coming out of the windows.
We just want to also make them aware of the situation.
Appreciate
Right,
it.
thank you.
A couple of things. Melvin Waldrop, Chief of Staff. Office of Business Administrator. With respect, in response to your question, number one, even though we have a clean and lien on it, if they're still in violation, it should still be cited and fined. Secondly, if they're still doing constructions there construction and they're in violation of our UCC codes, we should be able to issue a stop work order with respect to this property and enforce that. I will investigate that and determine it, whether or not that's the case, but based on history, we should be able to do that. And normally, when a clean and lien is placed on a property, again, there's a certification that has to be done, and that is sent to the tax collector, and she does an excellent job of following up to make sure that either it's paid or it goes to sale.
Chief,
And typically, when that happens, we get a response.
one question too. We've already voted on raising the fines of those illegal dumping, I believe, right? What is the fine for once they have been cited? What's that fine? And can it be raised again if they continue to, violate with the clean and lien? Can it be raised again, right away? I mean, because the owners don't care. They can pay $500.
Right.
They can pay even $1,000, some of them. I think that we need to make the fines for these landlords who do this purposely to the point that they can't just pay a $500 fine or pay $1,000 fine. We have to make them feel it and understand that the safety of our residents, the safety of our neighbors is more important than them violating codes just to build their properties.
No, I agree. I cannot tell you exactly what the fine is, but on some other issues, been working with the prosecutor's office and explaining to them how important it is for us to hold people accountable. And so when they come in for multiple expenses, multiple violations, the expectation is that those fines will be escalated. And I think that we have the ability to do that. But that still does not preclude us from looking at the fines to determine whether or not they can be made stiffer in order to provide a greater incentive for property owners, particularly those irresponsible property owners, to be more responsive than they are.
Yeah, I will be looking into that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I think Director Adim was here, but what Councilman Council said, I think anytime there's a business improvement district and there's a park there, we should maybe look into that business improvement district taking care of our parks. I have done that down in the east and it has worked. And I think that we should look into maybe an MOU with that business improvement district. If the park falls within their improvement district, that they would be responsible for maintaining and cleaning that park. So it may be something we should look into.
Definitely, I think it is. Thank you, Councilman Silva.
Communication,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, communications, items 8A and B were discussed previously. 8C, is Ms. Kimberly C. Clark in the audience?
Ms. Clark.
Not appearing. 8D is a reappointment to the Newark Public Library Board as a trustee, Miguel Rodriguez.
Mr. President, the spelling of the last name should be with a Z at the end.
Z?
Yeah,
Mr.
so, all right.
Rodriguez.
We'll make the
I'll
correction.
sponsor it too. Is there a second? Second by Scott Roundtree. All right.
8E is an ordinance amending and supplementing replacement of surfaces to include additional provisions for milling and paving requirements for street surface disturbance and trench restoration.
Director?
Good morning again,
morning.
Council President, Council members, Dolores Martinez Wooden, Department of Engineering Director. So this is the long-awaited ordinance in which we make everybody working on our streets in the city accountable for resurfacing, beginning with putting a deposit in based on the size of the project, for which it will not be refunded unless the resurfacing and restoration of the streets is made after inspection. Oh, I'm sorry, prior to inspection, we have to certify that they have done the work in the city. This is to avoid having not only brand fresh new paved streets in the city, but any street that gets work by utility companies and they walk away leaving the street in whatever condition they see it's okay to, which we all know it is improper and it's borderline disrespect to the city of Newark to walk away and leaving that in disrepair. So in this particular ordinance, we do things as the deposit that I mentioned before, knowing the contractor's information so that we not only getting the attention of the company doing the work, but the contractor resurfacing. So in this case, it allows our department to be a little bit more, give us a little bit oversight and avoid the what we're facing right now as a challenge, leaving the streets as they are.
That's good.
So can we, before I start go around, just give us a scenario of how this ordinance is going to affect what you're talking about.
So typically, you know, we have two kinds of operations for utility on the ground. One is an emergency basis, and all the permits and everything else that goes administrative follow after, because we do want to tend to the emergency. And then the other one is a proactive approach, pre-planned approach. They come to the city, request a permit in order to operate or open the street up. This permit, depending on how, I'm sorry, this request, depending on how much and how big the scope is, we coordinate with water and sewer, and we coordinate with our engineering staff to see how the work will affect what's going on. At this point, with the ordinance in place, we request a deposit, depending on how big and how much we anticipate the resurfacings will be. There is concessions on how big the area is. If it's for example, two or more travel lanes, do we go to the center line and so on and so forth. So we bring clarity as to what we expect from the city to restore the streets.
I hate to cut you off real quick, but so
Yes.
what is the formula to determine what the deposit is?
Okay, so we're doing it by square foot, by
Square
square foot, yeah.
And how much per
I
square
don't want to
foot?
quote, but because I have to check the number, about, I would say like $30 per square foot, depending on what the work is. So at the end of the day, you know, they are, by the way, just let me clarify, they are required to do it before the end of paving season. So if they do work, let's say today, they have to pave it before the end, you know, before the end of this current paving season. They cannot leave it as is. If they do, it gives us the ability to use that deposit to do the surfacing ourselves.
And how does that determine? Is it if it's not completed by a certain timeline, then the city would be responsible?
Yes, yes. So as I mentioned before, what we try to do with this type of work is for them to give us a 2-week look ahead to let us know what the anticipated work is. And we, you know, we send engineers just to set eyes on the work that's taking place. At this point, what we anticipate doing is around this time, if we have open permits that would qualify for this larger areas, we will start taking a look at the progress and seeing if we see they will achieve what they're promising.
Questions from the council?
You have a question?
Yeah, I have a
Councilman
question.
Or a
Gonzalez.
comment like.
Oh, and then I got you.
Go ahead.
Director, what about their bond, like holding their bond? Because I had this situation happen in down in the east, and I actually had conversations with Director Redeem at one time. Don't we hold their bond? We can't pull their, you know, do something to really, instead of, you know, going after square footage, the bond, which is, I believe, more relevant than going after them in this way.
Right. Thank you for your question, Councilman Silva. I'm not gonna stand here and, you know, make you guys believe that I know it all. I have, you know, very, very well suited professionals that know the details. So I'm gonna call Sean to touch upon that particular detail in the bond.
Good morning, Council. Sean Savage, Principal Engineer, Newark.
Sean,
Yes, sir.
raise the
Oh,
microphone.
Yeah, thank
Excuse
you.
me.
There you go.
We require a deposit for every permit we get. And the permits, the size of the trench, the size of the work that's being done is a calculation for how much we require for the deposit. If the work's not done, we're gonna hold the deposit and use it for our own paving.
Mr. President.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Yeah, we have had some experience where we have, let's say, we have a deposit, but the deposit is not enough to cover the cost of the repair. So some people prefer to just leave, take the deposit, and the deposit is not enough. I believe that it's important that we raise the amount of the deposit so that if they don't do the work, that we have enough money to complete it.
Well, this new ordinance will allow us to do what we need to do as far as the amount. And what we're starting to do is require them to give us a paving contractor before they even do the work. So all this should be set up prior to the job is started.
Okay, okay.
And this only applies to, this doesn't apply to emergency work. This applies.
Yes.
So the question is, does this apply to emergency work?
It should also include emergency work, but there is a provision for our water and sewer colleagues if they have work to do in the city.
Yes, it's, let's say, how much, you mentioned, I believe, $30 a square foot or whatever it is. I don't know if, let's say, that number is accurate, or is it something that, let's say, that is the actual cost of paving or putting concrete on the street. But we have to make sure that, let's say, that the actual numbers that we are providing or that we're requiring are what we pay to our providers, because otherwise we would be, believe me, if people can take advantage of the city, they will take advantage of the city. So I believe that it's important that we put an onerous amount so that they know that they have to complete the project. Otherwise, we are going to keep the money, and the money is much more than the cost of the repair.
Just one thing before, because we're working on this together with the water department, right? Because we work on the underground, they work on the underground, we work on the above ground, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna have Director Adim speak to some of your comments. I do want to say that the intent is to cover, in case they walk away from it, to cover our cost of replacing and restoring, and any overhead, whatever it is that we need to do that we're doing because of their deficiency. So,
No, and I believe that's what we should do.
Council President, council members, Councilman Gonzalez, just to answer this question, Kareem Nadeem, Director, Department of Water and Sewer. The intent of this amendment is to ensure that we have enough road inspectors that's out. Somebody, normally these engineering companies come in and they put down, they're gonna make a hole that's 10 square feet. We say, hey, give us $300, right? By the time we go inspect it, it may be 300 square feet. So the intent is to make sure we're out in front, that we did the inspection, that your cut is what you put on paper, right? That your deposit is what you put on paper. Or we can stop you from working, right? We're gonna stop you right on the spot. You can't work no more, Newark PD close it down, because you put 10 feet, but you're doing 300 feet. The other intent is that the money or the bond, you said the bond, that we hold that. If you don't pave, right? Normally water and sewer, we have you passed, I think the last council meeting, a road restoration contract, right? We go back over the water and sewer cuts and restore them. This money will allow engineering to have one of those same type of contracts. So if they didn't go back and pave during the paving system, or they didn't do it to the city's needs, we'll have money to go ahead and put a contract out in real time to make those improvements. So this amendment was just to ensure we talk about emergencies. Not a provision on emergency that the water or sewer department will have, but we do know that public service is probably one of the only companies that does emergencies. To just ensure that they still come pull the permit out later through the emergency and make sure that they were following up with our inspectors, water team and engineering team to make sure this was done.
I believe, let's say, that even getting a deposit, let's say you get a deposit, but that contract should say that any expense above and beyond the deposit is responsibility of the contractor.
And that language should already be in the ordinance.
But there should also be a fine assessment to it. So outside of that, in the ordinance, I'm saying you should go back and look at it. There should be a fine assessment attached to it. So whatever variably that I'm looking for and trying to get financially to make sure that these things are done, that if they're not done outside of the financial agreement you have to pay, there should be a fine assessment attached to it. The council president asked a critical question. I don't think it was really cleared up about in the event of emergencies, right? Is there language in there that in the event of emergency, what covers that, and if those dollar signs are attached with there, as well as in the event of emergency, if something happens outside of approval, what is the fine and financial payment that will be rendered for that as well?
So I'm gonna have to refer that to law because the state statute around responding to emergencies for utility work. However, the law may know that. However, council, we do understand that this language that the city doesn't have will put us in a better position to do the things that you're talking about, right? It is an amount that they can be fined, but most of the time we want to stop people from doing what they said, what we know they shouldn't do, or just taking advantage of us and doing more than they asked to do. And this is what this is going to do. To make sure we got funds coming in to do restoration. Right? I'm gonna give you a prime example because the council president asked, we paved Elizabeth Avenue. We spent about from Meeker Avenue all the way to Bigelow, past the little soup place, I think, one summer. We did that right around the summer, maybe around September. PSC&G and another company came in and just threw the whole street up. However, our coordination and working with PS and the other company, we got that restored once all the work was done. Right. The other thing is letting people know that this is the city schedule when we're going to pave these streets. So if you got to do some utility work, you need to do it before we pave. Right. And also, we've had a great working relationship with PSNG over the last 6 or 7 years. And we want to continue that. But these are the non-PSNG work-related things that get done that you see in the city. Right, even the regular plumber that may have taken a permit out with water and sewer and did one with traffic and signal that don't come back and restore that sidewalk or that road improvement. Right? We want to make sure that we can restore it, and the money that they left on deposit or their bond, depending on how big the project is, because sometimes a guy may be putting in a 300 feet of water main or 300 feet of sewer main, so that cut may be longer than the average time when you're giving us $1,500 or $2,500. We may ask for a bond at that time to ensure that this $300,000 worth of paving, that your bond is going to cover that. And we don't have a problem with pulling bonds. I mean, water is so we go after a lot of bond work. People don't do their job.
Directors, let's say, it's important, I believe, that we have the same quality of work done after the street is broken, because sometimes what they come
Or
and
better.
they do is just put it's a thin coat of whatever, no? But let's say we have an example of that, and I mentioned it before here on Highland Avenue, between Berkeley, I believe it is, and Abington. There is an indentation that they did the work, and apparently the quality of the replacement is not of the same quality that it was there before. So you have an indentation, and I believe there is another one between Berkeley and Delavan. There's another one. So I believe that we have to make sure that the work that is done is of the same or better quality that what was there before.
Councilman, I think we all agree with that. More and more of that takes us on making sure that we have enough road inspectors and engineering inspectors looking at the work. We don't want people to compact the job 2 weeks after they work. No, it's not compact about wait and pave. We want to make sure you do it in the time frame that the director said earlier before the paving season. But make sure you put in the temporary restoration first, let it settle, compact, and then pave. Right? We will extend stuff because you finished something before the paving season is over and we know it haven't settled, because we don't want you to pave over stuff that haven't settled, which would put that indentation later on and you got to come back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's why it should be a fine assessment that's added in here. I know we, make amendments going further, but there needs to be a fine assessment that's added in the amendment. So I don't know if it's the law department, but we should be looking at adding a fine assessment in the ordinance. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Next item.
8F is an ordinance amending parking or standing prohibited in certain areas at certain times for street cleaning to remove Treadwell Street on the north side between Ridge Street and Mount Prospect Avenue, and include Treadwell Street on the south side between Ridge Street and Mount Prospect Avenue in the North Ward.
Questions from the council? Next item.
G is an ordinance amending parking prohibited at all times to prohibit parking at all times on Treadwell Street solely on the north side between Ridge Street and Mount Prospect Avenue in the North Ward.
Questions from the council? Seeing none, next item.
Pending business on the agenda, 9A is an ordinance opting into the Garden State CPACE program to facilitate the financing of CPACE projects.
So I know there were some concerns from the administration regarding this matter previously. And I don't know if there's anybody here to really discuss it at this point. If not, we're going to defer it again. So, all right, so defer as a whole. And if it doesn't move forward next meeting, we're going to return it to administration.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Item 10A is miscellaneous raffle license approval.
Questions? Next item.
Council President, council members, we have a couple added starters.
Okay.
The first one is file number 25-1453, which is a donation to our sister city in Jamaica, sponsored by Councilman Quintana, of a backhoe from the Department of Water and Sewer Utilities. It's heavy equipment used for digging, lifting, and moving materials.
Question. Next item.
Second. We need a second. It's
Oh, I'm
sponsored
sorry,
by
for Councilman Quintana, second by Councilman Gonzalez.
Thank you. Next file is 25-1457, which is a professional services contract for legal services concerning litigation matters.
We'll talk about that in executive session.
Yes.
Okay.
Next item is 25-1458, which is a memorandum of understanding with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the resurfacing of portions of South Street and Delancey Street.
Sponsor.
Are you sure, Councilman? Second by Councilman Gonzalez.
Duly noted. Next item is 25-1464, which is regarding the government shutdown for emergency assistance. This is to supplement the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Sponsored by Councilman Council, second by Councilman Kelly. Can we get a further discussion, explanation on this matter? Deputy Mayor.
Good morning, Council President, council
morning.
members. Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. This item became an added starter because of what happened at the federal level, and the president did not authorize the expenditure for SNAP. And so that authorization caused many of our families, about 37,000 people, to not receive their benefits on Saturday, November 1st. Therefore, in preparation for that, the mayor held an emergency meeting on Friday, the day prior to the SNAP non-disbursement, and worked with the community, private sector, nonprofit organizations, and city departments to create a task force as well as programs to assist families. The resolution before you is specifically about 5 hubs that have been stood up in each ward. Each of the hubs has been, will be led by a community-based organization, and their job will be to coordinate and manage that hub, ensure that all families that need the assistance from the hub are able to access it, provide food services, clothing, and other needs during this time. So what we're asking for is for the first month for us to be able to provide up to $100,000 to each of the organizations so that they can directly pay for those services and items for the families. And then they will all be given out at the hubs. The 5 hubs are being led by in the South Ward, it's being led by the South Ward Improvement District, which is actually called the Bergen Lions Clinton Special Improvement District. The hub is located at Belmont Runyon Elementary School. In the Central Ward, it is led by the Greater Newark Conservancy, and that is going to be at the Flag School on 153rd Street. The West Ward is being run by the UVSO, and that will be at Speedway Academies at 701 South Orange. In the East Ward, it's run by the Ironbound Community Corporation, and it'll be at the South Street School at 44 Herman Street. And the last is in the North Ward, and it'll be led by La Casa Don Pedro, and it'll be located at the Rafael Hernandez Elementary School on 345 Broadway. I will say that each one of the lead organizations has several partners that are working with them to arrange, again, food services, clothing services, all type of, personal needs that may not other be met because of the federal government's non-disbursement and not being able to have funds through SNAP. I'm happy to answer any other questions, but I did want to at least give you that broad overview. I think in closing, I'd say that we are planning ahead. So this is authorizing payment for both November and December. But if December, we are able to close down because the funds have been released, we're just planning ahead, so.
Councilman Council.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I do want to point out something that the deputy mayor stated, and I just want to make sure that it's clear, especially if there's individuals who are viewing, this telecast, that if there are any organizations that are in any of these wards that want to participate, help out, from parent liaisons to other nonprofits or CBOs that are doing work in any of these capacities, they should go to one of these locations and render their services and ask to be a part of it. I think that's critical because sometimes individuals believe that because they have not been invited or someone told them about it personally or they didn't know, but they're building that kind of capacity or doing that kind of work, that they are not included. But in a matter like this, I believe that everyone is included, and it is vital that each and every organization that does this kind of work, providing food and pantry services, get to one of these locations in your specific ward and begin to build capacity around it so that this does not become a siloed activity, but a universal support magnet that is assisted by every organization that is working for the benefit of helping to serve our residents in this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kelly first, then Councilman Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you, Council Pres. We've been meeting in the West Ward, we've been meeting every night since the mayor has called this call to action. And in the West Ward, it is UVSO, but it's also included the Urban League. I know a lot of organizations have called me and asked how they can get in on the action, and they're just thinking they can get on the money disbursement part of it, and it's not that simple. We definitely need all of the services to be bought in this dire need to come together as a collective. Today, we start at Speedway Avenue School, and we will need volunteers. NPS was gracious enough to give us space in Speedway where we will be able to operate the giving of the food today. And, essentially it's going to be kind of like flying a plane while building it, because there's so many logistic matters and there's so many things that deal with, are you a member of SNAP? Do you have SNAP benefits? You don't, we're not going to be turning anybody away, but I just want people to realize that this is because of SNAP, the benefits being taken away, and the mayor wants to make sure that the priority is going to the people who have SNAP benefits, but no one will be turned away. So today in the West Ward, we're still looking for volunteers. We're still looking for people in all aspects of volunteer work to register the people that are in line, to bring food and perishables to UVSO and the Urban League. I believe the Urban League will be a location that you can drop off the food, and then we'll have drivers bring it over to Speedway, because MPS is not going to allow you just to drop off the food there at that school like that. So we'll be using the Urban League's hub on Central Avenue to drop off food, and then drivers will be taking that food over to Speedway. So we need people to register, volunteers to give out the food, and make sure the people who are coming to get blessed with the food, bring your own bags, bring your own things to carry the perishables and the food in. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Gonzalez.
Yes, mine is a question. They say we are approving 2 months of $500,000 each, or the total is 500,000.
I'm sorry, council member, I didn't mean to shake my head, but I can happy to explain the logic flow for it. I apologize. I know you don't have a resolution in front of you.
No,
So
what I heard you saying was that we are giving 100,000 to five the individual entities
each, yes,
for 2 months. So we are approving $1 million.
correct.
So the other question is, what happens if the shutdown, let's say, ends tomorrow?
And we will end it as well under the mayor's direction. So our thought is to help with streamlining the approval. So it's an up to amount, not an exact amount per organization, because we wanted to make sure we are planning ahead for December. And in this case, this allows us to. But if everything comes to a positive outcome and SNAP benefits are received in November, then in December, the city may have to make another decision, and the organizations are aware of that as well.
Thank you.
I would say, though, that anyone who's listening, that one way to, if you are interested, to Councilmember Kelly's statement, if you are interested in donating, there are contact information, phone numbers on our website and press release. So we definitely encourage you to go to both locations so that you can talk to a person who will actually help you coordinate. We know that it's an all hands on deck experience, but at the same time, we are trying to coordinate the activities just as much as provide them. So, we look forward to working with you.
Anything else from the council? Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
Council President, council members, that concludes the agenda. Public comment?
Yes.
We are in the public comment section of this meeting, which is the 30-minute public comment portion, where each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. Is there anyone wishing to address the council?
Anyone?
Okay. We'll take it anyway. Munir Bumani. Once again, good riddance, Newark slave traders. The black vote saved the Democratic Party once again. So what I'm asking you all is, what will be your return on investment for delivering the black votes for this governor? I'm asking the individuals who went around, Raz, Ryan Hager, and all the black pastors that went around talking about the black agenda. Y'all remember that? Y'all, some of y'all attended, right? What's the black agenda for this governor that's coming in for the return on our investment? And Mikey Sherrill, I know if you listening, you've been in Congress for some time now. We the people of New Jersey, we the people of Newark have been living under the worst conditions under this administration since you've been in office and under the Democratic Party. We want tangibles and we want results over rhetoric. Now let's get to the election. With the election of Central Ward, there needs to be an independent, outside investigation into the counting of the ballots. There also needs to be an independent investigation into the voter suppression, the voter intimidation, the voter harassment, and the violations that took place at these polling sites. Now, I came on my break and I went to the one in District 15. And here we got Portia, Tariq Tucker coming, trying to film me. For what? I don't vote in that district. I live on the north side. But anyway, it's just harassment. And then to hear some of the comments and what happened to individuals at polling sites. Same stuff with y'all. Tearing down signs. Somebody tore my poster of Gail Cheneyfield off my car at Blueprint Cafe. And I know y'all Baraka campaign people go there. It's just the same stuff. And you wonder why we want you out of office.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Public speaking is now closed. Anything from the councilman?
I just have a
Silver.
question for our tax assessor, when the bills are going to be going out, because I'm getting a lot of calls from my constituents. So I was just curious to know when the fourth quarter tax bills would be going out.
Frank D'Alessio, tax assessor. Councilman, you're gonna have to speak with the collector. It goes through the collector's office when the bills go out.
So,
Okay, here comes our collector.
okay, well, maybe Director Guzman can help us.
Yeah, good morning, council members. Benjamin Guzman, Acting Director of Finance. The tax bills for the regular tax bills for the property were printed over the weekend, and they were actually out in the mail on Monday. As a matter of fact, I believe mine should be arriving in the mail today, as I received notification from the post office. So we did send out the fourth quarter tax bills printed out over the weekend. They mailed out on Monday, and we did notify the banking financial institutions of those mortgage companies that send it directly to the city on behalf of the property owners. The files have been sent. They've been notified. We're currently working through the process of printing the other tax bills that are related for the city, which are, the tax abatement bills, the special improvement district bills. So those will be forthcoming in the next few days.
Will there be any penalties? Because
No, we're sending them out, and statutorily, they have 25 days from the date that the bill is sent out. Since they were printed and mailed out, I believe, on the 1st and being mailed out on Monday, they're being given the statutory timeline, which is 25 days, which I believe puts it into about December 12th or December 15th, when is the due date. So there will be no penalties as long as they're paid within the statutory timeline of the tax bills.
Thank you.
And Ben, that's indicated on the bill.
Yes, it is indicated on the bill showing what the due date and when it's due by. I did see some proofs before they went out, and I believe that the date we had on there was on or about December 15th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions? Thank you. And thank you, Director. Anything else from the council? Anything from the administration at this point? All right, we got to go to executive session. Get a roll call for executive session.
Yes.
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 You should have moved it up with all of this.
All right, guys, let's go upstairs quickly.
The amnesty is good if you pay the taxes in December. And they want